from the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
From the VON Newsline, this is the VON Major Newscast.
In our lead stories. Nationally, 3 of the Federation's leaders to be honored by the University of the West Indies, and the Post Office takes a spotlight on World Post Day. Regionally, thousands march in Trinidad for the removal of Rowley government. Internationally, South Africa's finance minister quits over Gupta scandal. And in sports, Windies names ODI and T20I squads for India tour. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse.
Wrong.
Welcome back. Another national news in detail. 3 of the Federation's leaders will be among 70 outstanding alumni who will be honored by the University of the West Indies as part of its 70th anniversary of service and leadership across the region. Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Timothy Harris, Senior Minister The Honorable Vance Emery, and former Prime Minister and now Leader of the Opposition, Dr. The Honorable Denzil Douglas, will be honored during a ceremony to be held on Wednesday, October 10th at 10 a.m. at the Quadrangle at the UWI Cave Hill campus in Barbados. The Honorable Vance Emery, former Premier of Nevis and current Senior Minister in the Team Unity Administration of St. Kitts and Nevis, graduated with a bachelor's degree from UWI in 1973. Prime Minister Harris graduated from the Cave Hill campus in 1988 with a first-class honors degree in accounting, having won the coveted Victor Cook Prize for Best Accounting Student. In 1992, Dr. Harris then graduated at the top of his class from the St. Augustine campus with a distinction in the Master's Degree Management Studies program. He has also served on several councils and committees for the University of the West Indies. Dr. Douglas graduated from the Cave Hill campus with a Bachelor of Science degree in 1977, followed by a medical degree in 1984 from the University of the West Indies Mona campus, Jamaica. UWI, founded in 1948, has evolved from a university college in Jamaica with 33 medical students to an internationally respected regional university with near 50,000 students. It has 4 campuses in Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and the open campus with sites throughout the region, including St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis today joined the rest of the world in observing World Post Day. World Post Day, observed annually on October 9th, is held to mark the anniversary of the creation of the Universal Postal Union. The union was established to create and maintain a postal system for the free flow of mail around the world. In an address to mark the occasion, Minister of Post here in St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Ian Patches-Liburd, highlighted what he said were efforts aimed at improving the postal services here in the Federation.
A great portion of time has been allocated to training in computer applications to facilitate processing of courier services. Training staff on the Asikuda system helps us to work closer with the Customs and Excise Department. Likewise, training with .post brings us in alignment with Universal Postal Union's standards. A focus group symposium with a view towards soliciting the perspectives of various stakeholders will be convened in the latter part of October. A new activity, to wit the Postcade, will take us on an awareness-raising activity throughout all of the communities in St. Kitts and Nevis.
The Honorable Ian Patches-Liburd. Activities to be held throughout the month of October have been organized by staff of the post offices on St. Kitts and Nevis. The theme for World Post Day 2018 is The Post Delivering Good to the World. In related news, the time has come for Nevis Postal Services to be transformed to remain relevant in today's digital age. So says Minister responsible for Post in the Nevis Island Administration, the Honorable Spencer Brand, in his address to mark World Post Day, observed today, Tuesday, 9th October. He said that the Post's survival is dependent on technology and innovation, recognizing that we expect everything at the click of the mouse.
Therefore, we have to face our challenges head-on, because survival depends heavily on our ability to transform and innovate as quickly as is humanly possible. While we strive to maintain our place in the world market, we also recognize that Post has an important role to play in infrastructural development. Post is positioned, because of its universal nature, to drive economic, social, financial, and digital inclusion to all around the globe.
The Honorable Spencer Brand. Community groups, NGOs, and similar organizations here in St. Kitts and Nevis are being invited to apply to the New Zealand High Commission Fund. The fund supports small-scale, short-term community projects that contribute to wider community well-being. The High Commission welcomes proposals in the following areas: agriculture, the environment, including recycling, women's economic empowerment, and youth economic empowerment. The maximum amount for a single project is approximately 25,000 New Zealand dollars. Applications should be received by October 31st, 2018. For further information, organizations can contact the New Zealand High Commission, Bridgetown, Barbados, at telephone number 1-246-6222-7800. Law enforcement here in St. Kitts and Nevis and other countries in the region have been asked by the police in Antigua to be on the lookout for a man who shot 3 people last week Friday on that island, killing 2 of them. The Antigua police say Calvin Berger James is armed and very dangerous, and he may have fled the country. The police have cautioned that anyone who comes in contact with him should not approach him if or when seen, but instead contact the nearest police station. An appeal has also been made for him to surrender himself at any police station with his attorney or any family member immediately. On Friday, October 5th, James, 53, reportedly killed his niece, Tanisha Thomas, and her sister-in-law, Sanchiska Charles, while he shot his nephew, Lawrence James, in the face. And finally, work on Phase 1 of the resurfacing and realignment of the main road in St. Kitts is approximately 80% complete. At the Prime Minister's monthly press conference on Thursday, October 4th, Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable Ian Patches-Liburd, updated the public on the project that began in June 2018. Resurfacing and realignment activities under Phase 1 cover the areas between Camps and Challengers and Keys and Connery. Drain and sidewalk construction are also being undertaken. He also said the project has suffered some delays due to the recent weeks of inclement weather, as well as an issue with the quarry supply needed for the concrete, which has since been resolved. Minister Liburd called on motorists to exercise caution when traveling in areas where the men are at work, as there have been reports of vehicles speeding, which pose a threat to the safety of the construction workers and other drivers. Phase 2 will cover Keys to Bloody Point and is expected to begin shortly after the current work is completed. An open tendering process will invite bids from contractors to execute the project. October 2019 is the target deadline for the entire road rehabilitation project. That's our national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on social media page on Facebook at Von Radio and our Von Radio YouTube channel. News from across the region is next.
Home. It means something different to everyone. It's a place you love, a place as unique as you are, a place where you can be yourselves, a place for life's big surprises, and not to mention the small ones. Moments to cherish and moments that last a lifetime. It's a place for nurture and a place where you can grow together. It's home. So whether you're building, purchasing, or renovating, the Bank of Nevis is here to open the door, giving you the confidence to dream and the help you need to get there with a mortgage loan from the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back. Another regional news in detail. Thousands took to the streets from South Trinidad to Port of Spain in a 3-day march demonstrating for the removal of the current People's National Movement PNM government led by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowling. They are mainly protesting the closure of the Petrotrin oil refinery, which employed thousands of workers. Led by leader of the Oilfield Workers Trade Union, OWTU, Ansel Roget, the marchers included parents, husbands, wives, sons, and daughters of affected workers. The OWTU filed an application in the Industrial Court for an injunction seeking to stop the termination of the Petrotrin workers, and on Monday, the court granted the union's request to halt the refinery closure and consequent dismissal of all workers. The court declined to grant a government application to stay the ruling pending a further hearing. Out of Guyana. With government moving to revise the salary offer to teachers, the Guyana Teachers Union, GTU, is reportedly now entirely dependent on its membership to decide the way forward. On Friday, the Ministry of Education invited the GTU to a meeting where the revised offer was proposed. The ministry put on the table a 10% increase for 2016 and an additional 8% for this year. Further, the ministry proposed a $350 million payout for the period 2011 to 2018, with teachers receiving a lump sum payout. The ministry has also reportedly proposed that from 2019, the teachers will be placed on suitable scales and paid in that regard onwards. This development comes at a time when the union and the education ministry were at a stage of setting up an arbitration panel and had failed to agree on a chairperson. Out of Jamaica. A 3.6 magnitude earthquake was recorded in Jamaica late Sunday night, October 7th, but there were no injuries or damages reported. It occurred around 9:28 p.m. local time, with an epicenter located 1 kilometer west-northwest of Hope Bay in the eastern parish of Portland. The depth was recorded at 10 kilometers. Local media reports say residents in Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas reported feeling the tremor, which struck a day after a 5.9 magnitude quake struck northern Haiti and left at least 12 people dead and almost 200 injured. Fortunately, no one was injured. And finally, out of Grenada. Electoral officials say an estimated 80,000 people have registered to vote in next month's referendum as Grenadians decide whether or not to replace the London-based Privy Council as their final court. The Parliamentary Elections Office said that voters have until October 15th to make any adjustment to the final voters list that will be used for the November 6th referendum on whether to replace the Privy Council with the Trinidad-based Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ. The Parliamentary Elections Office said they would be required to answer yes or no to the question. Do you approve the bill for an act proposing to alter the Constitution of Grenada, cited as Constitution of Grenada, Caribbean Court of Justice and renaming of the Supreme Court Amendment Bill 2018? They said 2/3 of the voters need to answer yes in order for the necessary amendment to be made to the Grenada Constitution, allowing for the CCJ, which also functions as an international tribunal interpreting the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas that governs the Regional Integration Movement, CARICOM, to replace the Privy Council as Grenada's final appellate court. That's it for regional stories. Stay with us for news from around the world. Welcome back, and now the international news in detail. South Africa's finance minister, Nhlanhla Nene, has quit after admitting meeting members of the Gupta family who have been accused of corruption. President Cyril Ramaphosa said he accepted the resignation in the interest of good governance. The Guptas have been accused of working with former President Jacob Zuma to secure government contracts and determine cabinet appointments. Both the Guptas and Mr. Zuma deny the allegations. Mr. Nene has been replaced by former central bank chief Tito Mboweni. This is the fifth change of finance minister since 2014. Last week, Mr. Nene told a judge-led inquiry into the alleged influence of the Guptas, known as the Zonda Commission, about meetings that he had previously denied. There is no suggestion that he had done anything illegal in meeting the businessmen during his stint as Deputy Finance Minister and Finance Minister in Mr. Zuma's government, but he has been under intense political pressure to step down since making the admission. Mr. Zuma sacked him as Finance Minister in 2015, but he was reappointed by the current president in February. Airport police in India are being instructed to smile less. This is over concerns that cheerfulness could lead to a perception of lax security and a threat of terror attacks. The country's Central Industrial Security Force, which is in charge of aviation safety, wants its staff to be more vigilant than friendly. They will move from a broad smile system to a sufficient smile system, the Indian Express says. Officials are said to believe that excessive friendliness puts airports at risk of terrorist attacks. The organization's Director General, Rajesh Ranjan, even said the 9/11 attacks had taken place because of an excessive reliance on passenger-friendly features. This is not the first time Indian police officers have been told to improve their standards or alter their behavior. By contrast, elsewhere in Asia, Nepalese police hired 600 trainers in 2014 to help officers become more friendly. And finally, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley resigned today, Tuesday, October 9th, directly to President Donald Trump. A senior State Department official said Haley told her staff this morning. Haley will be leaving the post at the end of the year. The former South Carolina governor was tapped as ambassador to the UN following Trump's election win despite supporting Florida Senator Marco Rubio in his state's all-important 2016 presidential primary and later backing Texas Senator Ted Cruz. When asked if she would take the job by then Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, Haley was intrigued but had some conditions. First, she told Trump she wanted to be a member of the cabinet and the National Security Council, privileges enjoyed by her predecessors in the Obama administration. Perhaps most importantly, she wanted the latitude to be herself, to say what she wanted. During her more than a year and a half on the job, she has repeatedly spoken her mind, whether it's going further on human rights than many of her administration colleagues or denouncing racism at home. That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
Let TDC Financial Services help you go for your goals. Whether you're thinking of taking that grand vacation, down payment on a house, higher education, TDC Financial Services has various plans that will allow you to go for your goals. Choose from the Accumulator Plus, Investment Starter Plan, and Fixed Deposit. Ready to go for your goals? Visit us at TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. In cricket, 3 young players have been selected into the Windies white ball squads for the Tour of India. With less than a year to go before the 2019 Cricket World Cup and 2 years before the next World T20 in Australia, plans are being put in place to prepare the team for these important ICC global events. Chairman of the selection panel, Courtney Brown, explained, "As we continue our Cricket World Cup preparations, the upcoming Tour of India provides a great opportunity to expose some of our young talent, namely opener Hemraj Chandapal, all-rounder Fabian Allen, and fast bowler O'Shane Thomas." ODI squad reads: India 2018, Jason Holder, captain, Fabian Allen, Sunil Ambrith, Devendra Bishu, Chandapal Hemraj, Shimron Hetmeyer, Shane Hope, Azari Joseph, Erin Lewis, Ashley Nurse, Kimo Paul, Rovman Powell, Kimar Roach, Marlon Samuels, and O'Shane Thomas. T20I squad to India 2018 reads: Carlos Brathwaite, captain, Fabian Allen, Darren Bravo, Shimron Hetmeyer, Erin Lewis, Obed McCoy, Ashley Nurse, Kimo Paul, Carrie Peer, Kyron Pollard, Rovman Powell, Dinesh Ramdin, Andre Russell, Shafane Rutherford, and O'Shane Thomas. Still in cricket. The second game of the ongoing tape ball cricket tournament, which is being hosted by the Youth and Sports Department, was played at the E.T. Willett Park on the evening of Sunday, 7th October. Highlights came up against Calypso in what ended to be a one-sided affair. Scores: Highlights 64 for 3 from 10 overs. Peter Charles 31, Wendell Wallace 11. T. Jeffers 1 for 7. Evie Webb 1 for 8 and Frank Monzak 1 for 19. Calypso 65 for 4 from 9.5 overs. Hassan Harvey 14 not out. Dennis Sargent 10. T. Jeffers 10. L. Mills 1 for 8. D. Phillip 1 for 8. Wendell Wallace 1 for 12. Calypso won by 6 wickets. Dennis Sargent was named man of the match. The tournament continues on Wednesday 10th October at 4:30 p.m. Empire versus STA Jets, and at 5:45 p.m. Rollins versus Highlights. And finally, the primary schools football tournament will kick off this coming Friday, 12th October at the E.T. Willett Park. All of the schools will be able to play against each other this year in an effort to encourage more football being played by the children. All of the government-owned primary schools are set to participate in the tournament except for the St. James's Primary School, which does not presently have enough students to play. Moreover, 2 private primary schools in the Nevis Academy and the Maud Cross Preparatory School will also be on board. Matches will be played on Friday afternoons at 1 p.m. with 2 matches on 2 separate fields, and another 2 matches will be played on the same afternoon starting at 2:30 p.m. That's it for sports. The weather forecast is next. Welcome back, and now the local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight will be partly cloudy with a 40% or moderate chance of late night showers. There will be partly sunny skies tomorrow with periods of increased cloudiness and a 60% or moderate chance of showers. Winds are east to northeast at 19 to 30 kilometers per hour or 10 to 16 knots, with higher gusts during showers. Seas are moderate with significant wave heights of 1.2 to 1.8 meters or 4 to 6 feet. Sunrise tomorrow would be at 6:02 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the Media News package for today, Tuesday 9th October 2018. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, 3 of the Federation's leaders to be honored by the University of the West Indies. And the Post Office takes the spotlight on World Post Day. Regionally, thousands march in Trinidad for the removal of the Rowley government. Internationally, South Africa's finance minister quits over Gupta scandal. And in sports, Windies names ODI and T20I squads for the India tour. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tashan Tyson, wishing you a pleasant evening.